What's up, and welcome to another edition of Locked On NBA, the biggest stories with the local experts. I'm your host, Jackson Gatlin, also host of Locked On Rockets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Today, we're going to be chatting with Cyrus Satsaaz of Locked On Warriors as Klay Thompson makes his much anticipated return to the Warriors lineup and the basketball floor after missing over 2 years of action. But first, a quick message from our friends over at Built Bar, because look, it's the new year, so that means New Year's resolutions, right? And if yours is about getting fit or eating healthier, make sure you include Built Bar in your plan. Built Bar is the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar, maybe even better than a candy bar. Built Bar makes it easier to stick to your New Year's resolution because it tastes so good, you'll want to eat it, unlike other protein bars, which can be chalky or gritty, or the consistency is just a little bit off, right? And the flavors, I've got so many amazing flavors to choose from: strawberry, mint brownie, raspberry, cookies and cream. My personal favorite, coconut brownie chunk. You can't go wrong with a single flavor on their menu, and you can check them out. Just go to built.com and use promo code LOCK15 to get 15% off your very next order of the best tasting protein bars on the market. Again, that's promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com. Joining us now is Cyrus Satsaaz of Locked On Warriors. Cyrus, what a day. Klay Day indeed. After more than 2 years away from the game, 941 days, Klay Thompson has made his return, his much anticipated return to the floor for the Golden State Warriors. How good was it just to see him back out there on the floor with the rest of the guys?
I swear to you, like seeing him on the court made me feel like for the first time in a long time, things are just normal. I mean, just the fact that like the last time we saw him, I mean, Anthony Davis was still with the Pelicans. Obviously there was no such thing as a pandemic. So when I saw him on the court, I mean, it just things felt right. It's hard to really put into words or to articulate just the positive feelings that came with seeing him. And I just love the fact that for at least for one night, NBA Twitter and the whole NBA community and the fandom just all seem to come together. I mean, Clay is that popular of a figure. And we were just, and I personally was just ecstatic. I don't know about you, but just seeing him back out there just made me feel like things were right in the world, even if just for a
Look,
moment.
Klay Thompson has caused the Houston Rockets a lot of problems over the years, but in this moment, I was just as a fan of the NBA and as a fan of basketball, I was happy to see him back out there, to have a chance to play the game that he has worked so hard his entire career for. Absolutely. So yes, as a fan of the game, I was ecstatic to see him out there. As the host of Locked On Rockets, I was not. I was just like, oh man, it's Klay. Like he's back to cause night terrors for me again. No, anyways, I mean the Rockets aren't competitive, so it's okay. But
For now, your team will be soon. Sooner than later, I think they will be. But anyways, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, just what was the overall fan reception like? I'm sure many, yourself, but many others. What was the atmosphere like? At Oracle.
I didn't go there tonight. My Locked On Warriors a partner in crime, Dieter Kernbach, is there, and I'm going to be hosting a live version of Locked On Warriors in just moments. Actually, the feedback was tremendous. Obviously, you read the stories about ticket sales being like astronomically higher than they normally are. I mean, Chase Center, the home of the Warriors, already sells the most expensive tickets in the NBA, and so just to put it in perspective of just how crazy the interest was people were forking up thousands of dollars for these tickets. The hype was overwhelming pregame. All the videos that I was looking at in the warm-up scenes, all the people I was talking to in the arena, they were just telling me it was loud. I mean, hours before everything started, you saw all the players coming to the arena with Klay Thompson jerseys. And then all the players, when they came out for the pregame shoot-around, were wearing Klay Thompson jerseys again. So they were in unison, and it was really symbolic of the probably the most positive attribute and variable of this Warriors team, which is their chemistry. I mean, this is a team that is unified, that plays well together, that likes each other. It's not easy to pull that off for an NBA team. So in terms of just the excitement, it was real. It was phenomenal. I mean, I really, it's hard to put into words again. And I know for a podcast, for a video, that's the worst position to put yourself in, is being stuck on finding the right words for a moment like this. But it was just tremendous. I mean, it was palpable in terms of just the arena being just overwhelmingly loud and excited. And then you saw the results. I think Klay far exceeded what any of our expectations were.
Yeah, so he finished the night with 17 points on 7 of 18 shooting, 3 of 8 from behind the 3-point line. Overall, just how did he? And I will say I appreciate the slight correction without calling me out. I'm so used to calling it Oracle, and so that kind of threw me off a
It's
little bit.
okay. It's
Just
okay.
the other day I called I said Staples instead of crypto arena, and so you get so accustomed to calling an arena a certain name for so long, it really threw me off. But just how did he look comfortable out there? Did it feel were there ever moments of like hesitation where you thought, okay, maybe he's still not 100% all the way back quite just yet? What did he look like on the actual floor?
Well, that was the craziest part. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the game live, and I know it was broadcast on NBA TV, but not, and that's a whole other discussion in terms of the availability of NBA TV for a lot of people because it's not on Hulu, it's not on Spectrum. So I don't know how many people actually watch the game without going, and all under some random illegal stream online, which is how a lot of people watch games. What surprised me the most, I was expecting a more tentative Klay Thompson. And his first basket was a wild layup that went in where he fully attacked very aggressively. And then he literally, like his second or third field goal, was a full on slam dunk over the opposition. I mean, he just went up there. He did not resemble a man who, in the last 2.5 years, had a torn ACL and then a torn Achilles. He was up in the air slamming it. I can't remember who was defending it. It was someone that was bigger, but so the moment I saw that, I was like, wow, okay, he's ready to go. He missed his first few 3-point shots before they started falling in, so I think there's a little rust there. Defensively, he was sound. He wasn't getting beat. He looked, and this is as crazy as this might sound, and I'm not trying to, bring my fandom into this at all. I'm trying to be as objective as I could be. He looked like the old Klay. I mean, I would love to hear your perspective on this before I start my show. I don't know if you felt the same way, but I mean, once his conditioning is down, he looked like the old Klay. And the Warriors are about to have the Splash Brothers back together. If for a Warriors fan you're stoked, for everyone else, I don't think you are. But Klay Thompson again he's just so popular. He's a weird individual in the sense that even like someone like yourself who loves the Rockets and probably loathes Draymond Green, probably has a love-hate relationship with Stephen Curry, right? But Klay Thompson, just for some reason, he just doesn't bring out that hatred for that some every other player brings out for opposing teams' fan bases, and he looked good. I'm very optimistic right now.
And as far as from what I was able to see, there were other games I was having to kind of monitor and tab back and forth between, as the evening was going on, as well as the Rockets were playing. So I didn't get to watch him as in depth, as closely as you did, which is why I'm deferring to you as the expert here, Cyrus. But I do know that obviously, and we had this discussion previously actually about, what was going to happen when Klay came back, and you expressed maybe, some not necessarily concerns, but just, you have a team that's gelling so well. The chemistry has been there all season. They're clicking on all cylinders. So
Yeah.
the decision to start Klay Thompson, right? Despite how great Jordan Poole has been, despite the growth that you've seen out of Andrew Wiggins and the role that he's now playing for this Warriors team, is that the right move, do you think, moving forward for Klay to be in there? Or would you have rather seen a different starting lineup? What's your perspective on that?
There's no doubt in my mind it was the right decision. Steve Kerr made a great. He brought up a great allegory. I forgot who the player was that he was making the metaphorical comparison to from the '90s in terms of a superstar that was out for a long time. And in Steve Kerr's words, he just could not see any other position for Klay for his comeback other than being a starter. That was like the only thing he could see. They've been prepping Jordan Poole for the six-man role. He's actually been coming off the bench now for a couple weeks. And he seems to be used to it. Andre Iguodala made a comment recently that Jordan Poole is about to be a $20 million sixth man. No, the starting position is absolutely perfect for him. And and again, just from his performance tonight, it eliminated whatever doubts there might have been in terms of whether or not you want to ease him in more as opposed to being a starter. He looks perfect in that position. And now the only thing left, I actually got a question in for Steve Kerr a couple days ago during his press conference. This is on Saturday, so I guess just a day ago. Where I asked Steve, I'm like, what about James Wiseman? Because I'm already looking forward to that because that's really the only player left that's going to determine the full picture for this Warriors team. And looks like James Wiseman is only a few weeks behind Klay, and he's going to be a starter. That's the implication there. And Dub Nation is ecstatic. I mean, for a team that has lost 2 of their last 3, there isn't a Warrior in the world right now. We're on cloud 9 and we're stoked. That's
Put the rest of the league on watch. The Splash Brothers are back together, and the Warriors
Yep.
are more dangerous than ever. And you're going to have us covered for all of that over at Locked On Warriors. Cyrus, thank you so much for stopping by Locked On NBA.
Yeah, always a pleasure, Jackson. Anytime, man.